You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
Feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it. The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Bunaziwa, everybody. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my Romanian brother, Kev Huggin Duggan.
Mulțumesc.
And
Very
Kyle,
nice
the
to be
coach
here.
Duggan. Yes.
Hi. Yeah, we're all on weird times right now because Kevin is currently in Romania.
Yeah, Kevin is over the
See?
pond and deep into the European countries. How you doing over there, big guy?
Good. Jet lag beyond all understanding. I don't know
Is
where I
today day
am.
1 or day 2 out there?
I think it's day 2. I got screwed over because one of my connecting flights got canceled. So
Oh,
I
dear.
it was one of those days. So
It's
I'm
one
here.
of those days.
we got a bolt
Right.
insight. We got a fan focus.
That's
we
right.
still got everything.
We've got lots to talk about here, folks. So those of
boy.
you that are listening, you probably won't hear much of a difference. But those of you watching, you might see Kev kind of dip in and out because the connection just ain't what it used to be.
Romania is not known for their internet.
They are not. But we will press on and look at the draft. Obviously, round 1, we took Zion Johnson. Everybody was very thrilled about that, including Tom Telesco, who had this to say. We have some excellent skill players, both at receiver, tight end, also at running back, and with quarterback Justin Herbert. Obviously, these guys cannot do their jobs without a rock-solid offensive line. So as much as this pick is to protect our quarterback, which is a big part of it, this is also to facilitate everybody else. It's pass protection, it's run game. We're in the second half of the game and we have a lead and we've got to run the ball. They know we're going to run the ball. He's going to help there. So if he does what we think he can do, he's going to play 900 to 1,000 snaps for us in his rookie year, but he's a really well-rounded football player, so we're excited to get him in here.
That sounds daunting. 900 to 1,000?
I mean, I guess I never really thought to figure out how many snaps
Guess it
occur
is.
within a year.
They're like, you're not coming out of the game. You better not get hurt because we have 900 to 1,000 next to your name.
Get
buddy.
back out there now.
Yeah.
Now,
If you miss this, you're not going to hit 900 at the end of the year.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, 1,000 over 16 games. I guess they play 17 games now. You got to take that into account.
Right. Yeah.
Sneaky,
that's a whole
sneaky.
nother set of games. Yeah.
58,
sneaky.
58 plays a year, that means he's the full starter every game from the
No matter
get-go.
what. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's on
Which-
field goals. He's going to be on all the special teams.
Maybe some defense, but
Sure.
he's getting he's expected to start right away,
Exactly.
right? And so, okay,
Definitely
we've had a
for him.
couple of days to think about it now, boys. What's the thought? Like when we were sitting there, I thought it was McDuffie or Trevor Penning because that's just what everything was talking about leading up
Sure.
to the draft. There was a couple Zion Johnsons tossed in there, but
Right.
with the guys that were still available, it seemed like a no-brainer that it would be McDuffie or Penning.
Yeah.
I think it's the methodologies there. Like the idea that we need to build around Herbert. Like we absolutely need to build around Justin Herbert, and the coaching staff sees that too. I think they were probably eyeing right tackle there, and he just didn't fall. And this is the best available offensive lineman to protect Justin Herbert. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I think, you start to look at the lineup of what players are next to who and who you can put in what position. And you're like, okay, this is a formidable offensive line.
Yeah, that guard center guard combo is pretty nasty.
Mhm.
I always want to draft offensive linemen in the first round.
Hell yeah.
Personally,
Absolutely.
the NFL now is an offensive game, so you got to score a lot of points, and that all starts up front. Whether you're running the ball, throwing the ball, no matter what, it starts up front. So I always want to draft offensive linemen, and we went back to back first round 2 years in a row taking
Yep.
first round offensive linemen.
Yep.
Which I don't know the last time that the Chargers have ever done that. Very much a Patriots move.
Yeah. Well,
Staley wants him. That's what he
Yeah.
got. He wants offensive line.
right. Yeah. He wants the tough trench players. And yeah, a lot of people were picking Penning to come to us, but I guess Zion is probably the better choice. I mean, he was the second best guard, and we already saw like 3 tackles come off the board. So I guess if you look at it in that regard, that like, would you rather the 4th best tackle or the 2nd best guard?
Well, a lot of
Arguably
people
the 1st
have
best guard.
Yeah, a lot of people have Zion as the 1st best guard. He has a higher floor, maybe not as high of a ceiling as the guy that went before him.
Right.
So he's going to go in and be ready to plug and play right away. Which is what we need. That's what we need right now. I don't need a high ceiling guy that might bust.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting because Telesco was talking about when that first guard was picked, he was a little shocked.
Oh, really?
Like he didn't think Zion was going to be there. He didn't think he would be the second guard off the board. So
wow,
that says a lot. And if you look at the press conferences, you look at both Coach and the Ninja, they looked very excited about this.
Yeah,
I know you have to be for your first round pick, but they were exceptionally excited.
Well, yeah, and we didn't know what was going to happen. Wide receivers were flying off the board, tackles flying off the board. So it was just like, okay, well, we'll just see what ends up happening. And Zion Johnson, I think he's a solid pick. The guy is obviously smart as a whip. I think one of the stronger guards. Like I don't know how many bench presses that Kenyon Drake put up, or is it Kenyon Drake? No, that's right, Kenyon Green. I think Green. I don't know how many bench presses he put up, but Zion Johnson put up like 32 bench presses.
Yeah, he's strong. He's no joke.
Whoa. And guy's got massive feet, size 18 feet. Like, good Lord.
That's like
get him in the ground and
right
anchor down.
Yeah. So I'm excited for him. I mean, we don't do much research over here at the Charger Chat. So.
Not beforehand, because it's just, for me, it's wasted time. If I would have done a lot of research, I probably wouldn't have researched Zion Johnson, and I would have researched a bunch of guys that are on different teams.
Right.
And that's all wasted brain space. And right now in my life, I don't have a lot of brain space as it is. It's in high demand.
Yeah. Well, let's look at what Coach had to say about Zion. He said he's really, really impressive. Staley said he's smart, tough, really physical, versatile. He played in a pro-style offense from a physical standpoint. He has big hands, long arms, and really good feet. Size 18. He can really anchor in pass protection against the biggest, strongest, best interior players in the league. We just really felt like this guy was a really complete player in both the run game and the pass game. His intangibles really fit what we're looking for.
Yeah, I went back and watched. They obviously put out all the highlights of all their draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have access to Boston College game film, but I went and watched the highlights at least, and he looks like an NFL guard. He is a big, strong, lower-bodied guy. He's really smart with his blocks. Like, he's bigger and stronger than a lot of guys he played against probably in college.
Right.
But the way that he utilizes his hips to cut people off, it's like you don't have to be the strongest to do that stuff, which I think will fare well for him in the NFL when he's going against bigger, stronger guys. He knows how to manipulate his angles, which I played offensive line as a kid in Pop Warner, and I was definitely not the biggest one out there. I had to utilize my hips in different ways to be able to turn guys. So just little stuff like that, I think is gonna be really, really easy for him to be able to make that transition up to the NFL. And then in run plays, when they're in goal line, he gets off. He's nasty, man.
Yeah.
He's a sweet guy in his interviews, but you can tell he's got a little nasty note to him when it's time to get a couple yards.
Excellent. So day 2, we didn't have the second round pick. We did. It was Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack.
Sweet, I love how the Chargers posted his like.
They leaned
pictures
into
if he
that
was
so
the draft
hard.
pick.
Yeah,
that was dope.
I love that. So third round pick comes around, and a bit of a surprise, I think, by most. We drafted a safety out of Baylor, JT Woods. Staley had this to say: JT has a lot of rare DB stuff. He's 6'2" plus 195. He runs 4.3 on the 40-yard dash. He had a 10 foot, is that 10 foot 8 inches broad jump?
Yep.
Woo.
Yeah.
And 39.5 vertical jump. Those are rare DB numbers. Then he led the nation in interceptions. He had 6 interceptions. He returned a couple for touchdowns. He was a multi-year starter on that team. He ran track at Baylor. He was really sharp in the interview process. He can really run the show, which is something that we really value back there at safety or just in our secondary in general. We think that he's going to get a lot better. Then he's going to be with one of the top secondary players in the league every day in Derwin James, then teaming up with cornerback J.C. Jackson, Asante Samuel Jr., Nasir Adderley, Vato, a.k.a. Michael Davis. There are a lot of quality guys that he's going to be able to learn from. All right, so those of you that are watching, we're just it's become too big of an issue.
My computer just took a shit.
It just took a big
the
dump,
internet.
so.
I have a really good computer, but this just took a shit. So
it's kind of like the draft. It's like you don't know what you're gonna get. You just what depending on what player falls, that's sometimes what you're gonna get. And right now we got no video for Kev. So
that's okay. So
just a ghost from the clouds.
Yeah,
you can hear me now.
Kevin is here. I promise. Just can't see him. He's here in spirit. But yeah, like
I'm a ghost.
So that I think that's the interesting thing. Like when getting somebody like JT Woods, the guy's got the most interceptions in college, and that seems to be the plan of attack for the defense this offseason. You get JT Woods with most interceptions, you get JC Jackson, who had the most interceptions in the league. And so it seems to be the focus is going to be just turn the ball over. You've got people like Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack on the front, and Sebastian Joseph Day and Austin Johnson, and those guys are going to just rush these quarterbacks, and they're going to go and they're going to throw the ball, and our guys are going to come scoop it up, turn it over, and call it good. So, and get Herbert back out there on the field. So I think it was a little bit of a head scratcher. I saw a lot of people saying that it was kind of a reach, but I think it's a great pick. Why not get a guy that had the most interceptions last season?
I saw a lot of people giving this like an A grade and B+ grade. I've seen that across the league.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you, once you're out of round 1 and 2, it's hard to really judge where these teams actually put these players on their boards.
Right.
Or what their value really is. Like when the guys are like, these are my, 1 to 100 or even 1 to 250 guys. It's like, all right, once you get to 100, like really what's the difference between this guy and this guy? So, I think it'll be a great pick. I'm happy to see him on the team.
I think he'll be a big time special teamer. I think you can put him out there as a winger, and he's going to fly down the field. Obviously, he's got to be able to make a tackle, but that goes without saying. It's got to improve.
Yeah, coach it. I mean, for guys like that are in the round 3, I'm not expecting the world of them. I'm expecting them to come in and make plays when they can, but they're not going to be the Zion Johnson, playing 900 to 1,000 snaps. So.
He'll get opportunities to get better on special teams, right?
Exactly.
You have to go make open field tackles against guys that they have a full head of steam. So he'll be able to prove those doubters wrong pretty quick, I think, on our special teams unit.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's not forget that he did have the most interceptions in college football last year.
Yeah.
Like, that says a lot. So.
And coach loves DBs. We took that comment that he made in the offseason as we're going to draft one in the first round. But I think we saw with the way our draft went, drafting 3 defensive backs, he doesn't just see first rounders as the need on the defensive backfield. He's just like, give me the guys. We'll get them in here. We'll get them coached up, and we'll get them going.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Then day 3 rolled around, which is where we were anticipating to see 8 guys join the team, but we only saw 6 because we traded with Chicago. We gave them 2 of our round 7s for our round 6 next year. So we got that back. We've got a full draft as it stands right now next year, and only gave up 2 round 7s for it. So not a bad trade, I don't think. So in round 4, we saw us pick up Isaiah Spiller, a running back out of Texas A&M. And the one and only LaDainian Tomlinson was talking about Isaiah Spiller on the NFL Network and said, I've seen a lot of this young man. He's a bigger back, no question about it. He's not going to be a guy that makes you miss. This is a guy that you pound the rock with. Maybe lean on him in the fourth quarter when you want to end a game, or short yard and goal line. This is going to be your guy. In the SEC, he had back-to-back years of 1,000 yards, over 5 yards per carry. The most underrated thing about this man is his 74 catches in his college career. So that's why he adds an element that he can help this football team.
I love watching this guy's tape.
Oh yeah.
He has great vision, but he doesn't Justin Jackson where he goes back there and like pounces and where am I going? It's like he has patience, and then when he sees an opening, he puts his foot in the ground and gets uphill because he's not afraid of contact. He's but like none of it. He's not running over 30 numbers. He's running over 50s. Linebackers are getting put on their back with this guy running downhill.
Wow.
So I love the pickup and the fact that he can catch the ball. You don't see Isaiah Spiller come in and the defense goes, okay, We know now they're not going to be throwing the ball.
Right.
He's going to be in here. We can bring an extra guy to rush. The guy can catch, and he's done it really well at a high level. Now you still have that element, right? And I think that's what was missing with some of the number 2 guys. Justin Jackson could do it, but he was never healthy. But we never saw that out of Larry Roundtree or as much out of Josh Kelly. So,
yeah, we really didn't.
I think I love the pick.
Yeah.
I love watching his tape. He looks like a great running back. And if LT has good things to say, I'm on board.
Right.
Amen to that. Like the idea that LT was like, this is one of my top running backs in the draft, and the Chargers got him. Like that's you can't say much more
enough
than
for
that.
me.
Yeah, and he played against good competition too. So that's and he didn't play it like a full share. Like he was splitting time. So it could be him getting ready to step into what he will be doing is having a split share with Austin Eckler. And if you can put up 5 yards per carry, that changes the dynamic of our third downs and what we're going to be like.
100%. So seems to be another great pick. And then round 5, we saw us pick up Otito Ogbonnia. I wanted to make sure I pronounced that correctly. The G is silent, just
they
like
call
James.
him Tito. They call him Tito too. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, they call him Tito. And then Staley had this to say about Tito. He said, Tito was a really exciting evaluation. If just from a pure size standpoint, that's really what we're looking for. He's 6'4", 325, 34.5-inch arms, and he's a real power player at the point of attack. We did a lot of work on this guy. I think if you take a look at the Senior Bowl, there's a lot of really competitive reps for Zion and Cole Strange and a bunch of good players at that All-Star game. At the Pro Day, Jay Rogers and Johnny Tamu put him through our type of workout. And if he really aced that part of the process, and I think that was a really big factor in us solidifying our feelings for him.
Yeah,
so
this is the one where people were kind of like, that RAS score where people are like, yeah, you got to have the RAS and, that kind of thing. This is one of those guys that didn't have the RAS score that we'll see. Like he didn't have the most amazing numbers, but he's essentially a nose tackle that's just going to eat up blocks, and he's a strong point of attack guy. And that's what we need. This is what the Chargers need. We didn't address it quite how we thought we would in the first round with Jordan Davis. But we got Tito now, and I like saying his name because he's dope, and I hope he is very successful on this roster.
I think Coach addressed it too, like with the idea of the RAS score. It's kind of like your athleticism score. So that's like how you run your 40, your broad jump, your 3-cone, all those types of drills you put you through. But he said, I watched him in our football-specific drills that we put him through, and he excelled. So we drafted him as a football player, not as a track athlete or doing all these drills, which great. Like that's what you want out of a nose guard. I want the guy to be a football player.
There you go.
I understand the upside of an RAS score, and you can look, and that's kind of what the Woods draft was for us. JT Woods, like guy's crazy athletic. He's so fast. He can jump so high. Like I get it. And that's why he goes in the 3rd round, but maybe that's why you get a steal on a Tito and he becomes a real good football player, but he doesn't have the just crazy, weird freak athleticism.
Yeah. The highlights of him going one-on-one specifically with Zion Johnson, guy is fierce. Like the guy, it just was going toe to toe with Zion Johnson. So I love it. I think it's great to add to that defensive trench.
And the one other thing I will say that about him watching his highlights at UCLA is that he's just like, he has bad intentions. Like he's just so violent when he gets his hands on people.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's what the coaches saw. And it's like, okay, like they're clearly taking a look at these trenches that we have and want to make us a undeniable,
we're mean up front,
powerful, mean team on the line of scrimmage. And this seems like a guy that's perfect for that.
Yeah. Big time. And then going into round 6, we had multiple picks, and the first was Jamari Salyer, offensive line out of Georgia. And basically the word was like, this guy was predicted to go round 2, and we got him all the way in round 6. So arguably a steal of the draft. Staley had this to say, just super, super excited about this guy. We held this guy in really high regard at the University of Georgia. He's a national champion, but beyond that, he started for 2 years at tackle and inside. You're able to see him against the best in the country, and I think the way he played against Michigan, against those 2 rushers that were both, 1st-round caliber rushers, certainly Hutchinson, you're able to get a full measure of what he stands, of where he stands. So I think it was an outstanding pick for us, great value, and he just adds to the depth of our front. And I'm really excited about how our O-line looks like right now.
You love to have the versatile guys, right? Like,
Absolutely.
We brought in Matt Filer because he can go guard tackle.
Right.
You draft Zion Johnson, who's played guard tackle. Jamari's played guard and tackle. You have options, right?
Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, I again didn't do a whole lot of research for the draft, but when I heard Jamari Salyer and the things they were saying about him, and the fact that he was projected to go at least in the top 4 rounds, like 2, 3, 4.
Right. Yeah.
And we get him at 6. How do you not pull the trigger on a team where you're trying to, I don't know, like this guy played at Georgia against the best competition in the country, and held his own against the number 2 pick in the draft. I don't get how he fell. They know something that I don't, but from the outside looking in, it looks like a steal. We'll have to see.
I feel bad for all the other teams because he's another mean man with bad intentions. Like he plays violently, and he posted about, the chip on his shoulder. So the league not taking him, there's 31 teams he's pissed at, and we're not one of them. So this is this seems like a bad news Bears opportunity for the rest of the league, because who knows? This guy could be in the starting lineup if he has a great camp. He's played at top level college football the last 2 years. So, when you get in there and you start mixing it up, it's interesting to see this pick. And then what does this mean for O'Day? I don't know if O'Day is back. Like, I don't see that now with this pick.
It doesn't signal.
No, I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. Like I liked O'Day and I liked when he came in to play for us, but I mean, picking up the 2 offensive linemen that we did, and we signed Will Clapp just prior to the draft. I mean, I think he's center guard. So, I mean, I think that, I don't see O'Day coming back, sadly. But happy to see that we pick up Jamari Salyer. And then our second pick in round 6 was defensive back Jasir Taylor out of Wake Forest. Staley had this to say. He's a 2-time captain. Love it. He also was a kickoff returner. Love it. I just think that you're getting a DB with good dimensions. He's 5'11", 194. He played inside and outside. Just feel like he's a DB that we would like to join up with. So we'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, that's a weird
round 6.
Yeah,
let's roll the dice.
Let's be honest about it. These guys, like the way our team shakes out most of the time, these guys are undrafted free agent. Undrafted guys are making the roster, and these 7th rounders aren't always. 6th, 7th aren't always. So it's at least he's being honest. But he loves his DBs. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So I think he just likes the measurables, and I mean, the 2-time captain, again, just shows the leadership. We like hiring guys that have that kind of leadership.
Character guys,
I think it's great to get a character guy in the defensive back. And then round 7 rolled around. We got ourselves another defensive back, Deion Leonard out of Ole Miss. And Staley said he's a guy we did a lot of work on because we had so many picks in the last 2 rounds. We did a ton of work. We just had a ton of work on the back end of the draft. So Deion had a lot of good things to join up with. He's 6 foot, 190 pounds. We're in a really low 4-4 smooth transition. He has a lot of traits that we feel like translate to the National Football League.
Yeah, these guys, I mean, anybody in the 6th, 7th round, these guys are projects, right? They're hoping to come in and be special team contributors that develop with good coaching and can maybe be a guy that finds a spot here in a year or 2, or in a real bad pinch with injury. So these aren't guys that were like, oh man, I know that name. He's huge. Can't wait. Yeah.
I think there's definitely these last 3 picks. I think our new special teams coach Ficken had a little something to say about him, and you'll see it. The last guy. I'm kind of excited about our last pick.
Yeah, our last pick out of round 7 was, and pick 260, by the way, was fullback Xander Horvath from the planet
sounding name
Pluto. I love it. But Staley had this to say. He's just a really intriguing prospect. He's got a lot of versatility, running the football, catching the football, blocking, special teams. He's got a pro body, and we're just going to figure it out. I'm just excited to see where it goes with him, but he's a really quality player. So,
and he was interesting. I watched a lot of his highlights today because I was like, we talk about fullbacks all the time. I don't know what this means for Gabe Neighbors. I don't know if you're having
the
two
protein
fullbacks.
fairy.
Right.
I don't know. Let them compete because I know Justin holds a place in his heart for him. So I don't know if you get rid of him right away. Got to give him his fighting chance. But this guy does a lot. Like he was an actual. He wasn't just a blocking fullback. Like he was running and catching balls out of the backfield. And he kind of gives off like a tight end energy too with his size and kind of
the Steven Anderson replacement, right?
Yeah, there you go. Could be.
Great point. But I think better out of the backfield. The Steven Anderson that is actually more of a running back and less of a real old school fullback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I obviously don't know anything about Xander or anything like that, but when I watched the highlight, and I know you can't just put all your eggs into one highlight, but there was that one clip of him doing a leap over a guy as he was running the ball, and I was like, ooh.
He's athletic.
I love that.
You got an athletic kid that probably didn't get a ton of opportunity, and hopefully he can do something that makes it worthwhile to get a roster spot.
Yeah.
Well, he will be a special team contributor.
Oh yeah,
most
definitely. Yeah.
So,
and then there was a slew of guys that we drafted for the undrafted free agency. A lot of interesting picks there too. But when you're done looking at that list, you can go on over to chargerchat.com and check out some of the sweet merch that we've got over there. Shirts, hoodies, and stickers. And you can chat it up in our member section with other Charger Chatteteers and ask questions and Ask Boltfam. So go check it out, chargerchat.com. All right. Well, now it's time to go on to Fan Focus. Let's see what fan we are bringing into focus this week.
All right, guys, we are back with another Fan Focus, and we are super pumped to have Gavin from Scotland. What is going on, Gavin?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. Doing good. I love meeting international fans. It's one of my favorite things. And I'm actually over in your neck of the woods right now. So I was like, this is the perfect episode to have Gavin on. So excited to have you, man. So let's kick it off how we usually do. How did you become a Charger fan?
Well, my wife belongs to a big family. She's got 11 other siblings.
Oh, wow.
So a majority of them actually stayed in America for a year. My two brother-in-laws that are closest to my age are quite kind of sports orientated. So they wanted to get into something where we can all follow it. So they're like, how about we do the NFL? We pick a team out of a hat and then just go from there. And I'm like, no, if I'm doing this, I'm going properly. So looking at America, I was like, where would I stay? Yeah, I was like, California, right? So looked at the teams in California, and there was the 49ers, the Chargers, and then the Faders. But so I was like, no. So I looked at the uniforms and stuff. So the black and silver did not go for me at all. It's just probably a sign. So I looked, blue's my favourite colour, and then just looked at the uniforms and I just fell in love with it. It was just amazing. And then seeing Philip Rivers play, it just like his emotion, the fact that like he could still like show all that emotion without having to like cuss at anyone or any of that. Just the way he comes out with things, it's brilliant.
Yeah, a wholesome competitiveness, if you will. That guy was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So you've been a fan for a while. So you got like this whole new roller coaster ride of like a new quarterback. We had Phil forever, a new quarterback, the new jerseys, the whole deal. So like, what are your thoughts on kind of the state of the Chargers and your excitement for them?
Oh, I think with the draft this year, we've picked up a lot of need fixing. Well, we've got two in the O-line, one in the D-line. Hopefully, Eckler now has an RB2.
Yeah,
because he has needed one for ages.
Oh yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people are a bit negative about Stiller. But I'm not into college football, but looking at clips here and there, and the fact that LT has given him his little seal of approval.
Yeah.
that kind of says it for me, really.
That's all I need.
Yeah,
I think he's great. He's more of a power back. We haven't had that. We've all had shifty, smaller guys. So I'm excited for him. And if LT's in, I'm all in.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact we've got some more depth in the back as well, so it'll hopefully lead us all the way. I'm quite confident this year.
Yeah,
so.
It's exciting that with Staley and getting in like Khalil Mack, like things you've been a fan for a long time. Like we never get these guys, and now we got a whole bunch of them in 1 year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember when I saw the Chargers in London. I mean, we didn't have a good O-line then.
Oh no!
And just seeing Rivers play then, it was brilliant. Seeing it live, and the fact that we have all these weapons now. I mean, Justin Herbert for a start. Eckler is amazing. We've fixed, hopefully, the O-line or some of the problems we've got. We've got Derwin James, Bosa and Mack. I mean,
that's better than that.
Oh, I know. And then you get Jackson, and it just hopefully free up James a lot more to kind of show what he can do, because we know he can do a heck of a lot more than what he's been doing recently, because of been having to cover so much.
Yeah. Well, and they have so many secondary players like going out on nickel and dime and having just DBs everywhere. Is not going to be a problem for the Chargers. And then what do you do about James? You got to keep an eye on him, and he's going to be an exceptional monster this year.
Oh, definitely. Because at the end of the day, the way I look at it, Bosa and Mack are going to be putting so much pressure on the quarterback that they're either going to have to pass off to a running back, which, I mean, our D-line is a lot better in the run game than we have been now.
Sure.
So if they throw it, I mean, you've got Mr. Interception. You've got Derwin James throwing so much pressure down the middle. So even if they do get through the D-line, he'll be right on top of them. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
It's exciting. Well, let's get you out of here on this. Like, what has been your biggest Charger memory? Like the biggest thing for you as a Charger fan?
So it was the game in London. It was 2018, I think. And me and two of my sister-in-laws went down, Chargers v Titans. One of my sister-in-laws is a Vikings fan. The other one was a Titans fan.
Oh, nice.
So the last throw of the game, and we managed to bat it away, and then the flag was called. I'm like, no, what's this? And I was right at that end zone. I was right at that corner.
Oh, wow.
And it was amazing. I was like literally 10 rows from the front. And I was like, oh, it's amazing. And then I got a flag. I'm like, oh, come on, man. And I was like, flags are plenty that game. And then it got called back to the 1 yard line. They tried again. And then same thing directly in front of me. Can't remember the player off the top of my head now, but done the exact same thing, and I went mental. Like, I started jumping about. I fell over my seat. My sister-in-law's like looking at me like, oh, all right, okay. And we didn't stay overnight then. We drove all the way back to Scotland from London.
Oh, wow.
It took us about 6 hours. I was feeling like down along the sea. I was like, that was a good game, wasn't it?
Talk about a drive home with the opposing fan with you. That's awesome.
Oh, it was great, man. But, it's been brilliant. Like, I've never been into air football, like never, but American football, I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Same here, man. It's a good time to be a Charger fan. It's a good time to
definitely
get excited about all this, because this is going to be a fun year. So, Gavin, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on, man. It was great meeting you. And
you too.
If you ever get out to SoFi, you need to message us, because I'm trying to get all the international fans. We'll do one day of everyone there at the same place. It'd be sick.
Yeah. Oh, I saw some of the American fans down in London. I'm sure I saw Bolt God there.
Oh, did you? Awesome.
And it was amazing. But I was like, so I was quite shy. I'm like, I don't want to blinking bother anyone. Yeah. But then, like, that was me kind of. I think I started following the Chargers about 2013, so I'm still kind of fresh in it and not realising how great the Charger fans are.
Sure.
So I think I should have approached them.
Hey, you'll get another chance. We'll find another way. We'll get you another.
Oh, definitely. But SoFi's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah. Well, you let us know when you get there, man. We will definitely. We'll buy you a pint.
Definitely. I'll get
you a pint. All right, Kevin. We appreciate you, man. And let's stay in touch.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Did we just become best friends?
What a nice guy.
I know.
Oh, Gavin, you're a sweetheart, man.
I can listen to you talk all day, Gavin.
Oh,
For
yes.
sure. Oh my God. He's such a cool guy. I love hearing the international fan stories because they're so uniquely different than ours. And like, you don't like, he just had to figure out that how he became a Charger fan. He's just like, California, the colors are sweet. And then he fell in love with Phillip Rivers. Like, everyone has a different way of becoming a Charger fan. And it's cool.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't just draw teams out of a hat. That would have been just like, what's the
probably
connection?
A Browns fan.
That was smart thinking. Like, where would I, if I went to go see a game, where would I want to go travel?
Yeah.
Right?
California.
I'm not going to Minnesota.
Minnesota,
Cleveland. Yeah. Get out of here, eh?
We're going to He's not Canadian. He's Scottish.
Well, we
no, the Minnesotans is what I was.
The Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Oh, horse head.
Yeah.
Oh, take off, eh?
All right. Well, Gavin, thank you for coming on and chatting with Kevin.
Yeah,
that was just an awesome little interview. But now it is time to go on to the next segment. It is Ask Boltfam. Let's get in it.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys.
Go jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do.
I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
All right. Well, let's start off Ask Boltfam as we kind of typically do with House of Hain, who asked the question. I'll say, how goddamn happy are you that the draft questions are, I say, over? Son, get away from me. You're going to hear Bosa and Mac in your dreams car. Now, get fist TR all the way to the elbow. Also, we get the first Thursday Night Football to spank Patrick. I'll say, kid, love you, bye.
Hercules.
Dude, I almost forgot about the first Thursday night game.
I know, dude.
I was after watching the draft. I mean, they remind you about like every commercial break. Like, guess what, everybody?
Yeah.
It's happening. So,
oh man, that is gonna be so good.
We're gonna have so many primetime games this year. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, easily.
Hopefully, the rest of them are at SoFi.
Yeah.
But hey, I want to play Kansas City. If we're going to play Kansas City, play them in the summer when it's not freezing cold.
Right. Yeah.
We did well last year.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It's a fact. You've been there. You've been there when it's freezing. It sucks.
Yeah,
and you don't really when you're watching it at home on your TV, you're like, okay, why aren't they playing better? Like, it's fucking cold. It sucks. Give them 75, 8, probably 85, 90 with a little humidity, but
it'll be nighttime. It's going to be a night game.
It's going to be perfect situation to up the Chiefs and yeah.
Okay. All right. House of Hain, thank you for asking the question and keeping it draft free. I don't think everybody's going to do that. Let's look over at Daniel Llewellyn, who has this to say. Okay. What's up, bruchachos? So, like, staying shamelessly positive, Zion at 17 was my first choice before the draft started. Hella value. Love JT Woods and the lineman from Georgia in the 6th with a steal. Not stoked on most day 3 selections, but overall, solid draft. Okay, later on, dudes.
We're proud of you. Llewellyn. You called Zion.
You called Zion and you're staying shamelessly positive. I mean,
I love that.
You don't have, I mean, hey, listen, I understand not being stoked on most of the day 3 selections because who the hell knows who these guys are? I mean, I'm sorry.
Exactly. But until we give them a shot, I'm not upset with any of the picks until they don't pan out. Exactly. Then I'll be like, yeah, that was a dumb call.
That was
but
another dumb call.
Yeah, right now it's like, who knows? These guys could be awesome breakout studs here in the next couple of years.
100%.
So don't be too upset.
Yeah. So, yeah, thanks for staying shamelessly positive. Let's move it on now to Daniel Falkenberry,
certified fresh,
who asked the question. Kevin said, don't ask what he would do to attend the draft. Let's play Would You Rather. Would you, all of you, rather kiss Derek Carr on the lips or lose to the Raiders both games next season to go to next year's draft? Each of you can give third and fourth options to each other. As always, the Raiders and bolt the up, compadres. K, love you, bye.
Oh, Daniel, I knew this was going to come back to bite me in the ass.
You put it
set
out there.
myself up.
Somebody was going to hook it.
Yeah, come on.
And welcome, Daniel. We're glad to have you.
Yes. All right. Well, so as it stands right now, kissing Derek Carr or losing to the Raiders both times, but he leaves the door open for some other options if you can come up with something better.
For the first two, like I'm not going to make my entire fan base suffer. Like for that,
Yeah, you just kiss the man.
I'd easily just throw it on him.
Shut up and kiss him.
Yeah, just kiss the man. Yeah.
Try and knock out a tooth. I'd sacrifice my teeth to try and break his face. So it would be an aggressive kiss. Oh, I'd headbutt him. I'm happy to lose some teeth to knock out some of his teeth. So an aggressive kiss.
Oh yeah, pucker up, Derek. Get him good.
They start bleeding like, thanks, man.
Oh God.
Family trust respect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to think of what would be like worse third or fourth options to like than kissing Derek Carr.
I know, we could do some good options.
How about what's the owner's name of the Raiders?
Oh God, Davis.
Yeah,
Davis.
Yeah, to kiss him on the lips.
I will not kiss that man.
No, I don't know if I can do that.
No.
I couldn't do
your
it.
face off.
Probably.
I think I'm just gonna like message James Ebo like every day for a whole year and be like, hey James, like if you have any sway in this, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah. Well, hey, how you
send
doing?
him like a basket full of fruit. Send him like you know,
muffins.
like like a sing-a-gram,
little
like
footballs.
something little footballs. Like that. I think that's more the more effective approach to trying to get into the draft next year. But it's in Kansas City, so I might have a shot.
Oh, you're close, man.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. There's
Why
a chance.
is it in Kansas City? That's stupid.
Because
I think they're trying. Because the AFC West is just that awesome. So.
I understand, but the draw of Vegas, I get.
Right.
Who's going to go to Kansas City?
I don't know what they're gonna do to like spice that city up because it is not very attractive looking. It is nowhere near Vegas.
Good luck, NFL.
Yeah, making good decisions left and right. But Daniel Falconberry, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Live for the Day For, who asked the question.
Why does TT always seem to let value slip in drafts he participates in? He neither goes best player available nor need. He kind of goes the opposite direction and lets other teams behind the Chargers scoop up value for days.
Pretty negative here, Live for the Day For.
That's just like your opinion,
That's
man.
just like,
It's like
your opinion, man.
Dude, this hypothetical, man. Like, I don't know if I agree with you, man. Like, I feel like we got some pretty good picks here, brother.
Yeah, I would agree with you if they interviewed Staley after the fact and he was like, I don't want any of these guys. I don't know what Tommy was thinking. Like,
we blew it.
Yeah. I guess I'll work with these guys, but no, I mean, Brandon Staley obviously said they did a lot of work into these guys, especially in the late rounds, knowing how many picks that they had, and they went for the guys they wanted.
How can you go neither best player available or need? Who the hell are you picking then? Just spin the wheel? What is that? What's the third option?
Oh, okay. JT Woods. We're taking JT Woods, guys. There we go.
This guy's not very good, and we don't really. It's a quarterback. It's a decent quarterback. Let's take him in the first.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? I don't get it. What's the third option?
This is the wild hypothetical. Yeah.
Wild card.
I think. I think the way the draft went, where quarterbacks were going so late in the draft that that was, I think, a huge chunk of like what we were. Yeah, it's just not what we're used to seeing.
Malik Willis went in the third round.
Yeah.
Everyone had him as the best overall quarterback going in the first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that was that was the ripple effect of like everybody's now having to change their strategy because teams that they thought were going to take a quarterback didn't take a quarterback until the third or fourth round. So, Live for the Day For. I think we got to wait to see these guys play. And obviously, if Staley says that these are the guys they wanted, they're the guys they wanted. So we'll see how it all pans out.
Let's get excited, man.
Yeah,
Let's get
come on,
excited
man.
about this. Let's not get all sad.
Come on. Stay shamelessly positive. Live for the Day
Come on,
For.
man.
Opinion,
Hey,
man.
live for the day. Okay? For you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for asking the question, buddy. Let's move it on now to Leo, who asked the question. I'll say I'm back, everybody. Hey there now. I'll say this draft really showed how committed Coach Staley is to revamping the offensive and defensive fronts. I'm a bit mad that we missed Jordan Davis by 4 picks, but all in all, a good draft, especially since Hollywood Herb now has his, bodyguards. Also, did y'all hear Chargers vs. Chiefs is the first Thursday primetime game this year? I'll say, aside from opening night, I do declare that seeing Kermit the Frog running for Bosa and Mac is going to be fun. P.S. F the Raiders and Raiders probably choked on draft again. I'll say.
That one's funny because I watched people's like grades, like Yahoo's grades and all these grades. They have like are at the bottom of every draft of what at least these pundits think. They think they're the 32nd team in terms of their quality of draft. So
yeah,
we're not. It's what we come to expect.
Yeah, they didn't have a first round. I don't even think they had a second. I think
nope, round 3 was their first pick.
Yeah, and that was Dylan Parham. So I guess good. Good for you. You got.
It's hard to have a high draft grade if you don't have a.
If you don't pick it until the third round.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and Thursday night, man, dude, we can't wait. I mean,
I'm so pumped.
It's just going to be an awesome
I'm
game.
excited for preseason football.
I know, right? I want to see some of these guys hit the field, but
and this is also a good time to do a Thursday night game because it's the very beginning of the season when you're still pretty fresh. So you're going from a Sunday to a Thursday, like knock that bitch out,
right?
And get come off whoever that first victory is and roll right into these Chiefs.
Right in 2-0, going into a little kind of abbreviated bye.
Oh yeah, bring it.
On talk about.
All right, Leo, thank you for asking the question. Moving on now to Gavin Gibson. Hey, Gavin, welcome back.
Gavin.
You've got a question. It goes something like this.
Who out of all the guys we drafted are you most excited to see? Who is your favorite guy that we drafted? If you could go back and change one guy from the ones we drafted, who would you get rid of? Also, can we have a little moment to enjoy the family trust respect in the 214th pick? It was amazing. Bolt up, K. Love you, boy.
All right. Well, boy, Gavin, you got a lot of questions here. Let's take them one at a time. Who out of all the guys we drafted are you most excited to see? Not everybody at once.
First. You go first, Coach.
I go first?
Sure.
I would say Zion Johnson, but I don't love watching guards. So
sure.
I think Isaiah Spiller. I honestly think he's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
And I think of the guys that we drafted, he's going to get the most playing time outside of Zion because she should, as long as he goes in there and performs like he's supposed to. I think he should be able to get into a spot over those 2 guys that we have there currently because they've already proven that they're not really the guy. So I think Isaiah Spiller is the one I'm most excited to see on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm behind that one for sure. I'll take Zion just because if Zion does well, that means Justin and everyone else is like the running backs are all doing well. So it's kind of a by proxy. So I'll go with Zion.
And let's see. I would say I'm kind of excited to see Xander hit the field because I think. Well, just because if he's making a play and he's doing well, then I know that the coaches did well in coaching him up because that seemed to be one of the bigger things is like he's got the build, he's got the athleticism, but it's more like technique that he needs to work on, which I think is why he got taken so late. So if he's on the field and he starts making plays, that's going to make me really excited. So
yeah, coach him up.
Let's see. Who was your favorite guy that we drafted? I guess that might be the same kind of a question.
Yeah,
I mean, Zion is going to be the favorite.
Zion,
yeah. If you could go back and change one guy from the ones we drafted, who would you get rid of?
I don't know. I was kind of hoping for Calvin Austin. I was really, I don't know. I understand now that our quarterback, our coaches and GM did not think we had a need at wide receiver.
Right.
And I don't think so. I think we do have a good wide receiver room. I just thought a smaller guy that was quick and could be that underneath guy for you. I think would have been fun to see. So Calvin Austin was kind of who I was hoping that we would find a way to get to.
Mm-hmm.
He also went in the 4th, which is when we took Isaiah. So
right.
I don't know. That was kind of the only name that I remember from my draft looking through guys was Calvin Austin because I think he's going to be a fun pick. He went to the Steelers in the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and to piggyback off on that, they have so much confidence in this wide receiver class that they only picked up one wide receiver in the undrafted guys too. So it's like they picked up 2 running backs. So I think it's clear to see where they feel their offense needs help. I'm not one of the guys that's on the train of, we needed a wide receiver. I mentioned that earlier. Sure. I did not feel that. I feel like, Guyton, all these guys are getting a second year in a new system.
Yeah, Palmer, all the guys.
They're all getting a second year. And I think that what you have now, as long as we stay healthy, it's going to be, without Guyton, you don't get that bomb versus the Giants. You know what I mean? Like some of these guys are going to remember that we have. And it's not as fun sometimes because they're we've had them for a while. We kind of know what they are, but who knows? They could take a step this year. That doesn't answer your question in the slightest. And I've been rambling.
If I had to get rid of one, part of me just says Jasir Taylor based off of Staley's quote of like, so we'll see where it goes. Like, if that's your vote of confidence, of like, we'll see where it goes. We'll roll the dice. Maybe change that one, but that's so late in the draft. Like whoever you swap them out for, I can't imagine really making that big of a
same feelings difference to whoever you bring in. Pretty much, it's like
exactly.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Gavin. Thank you for asking all the questions. Let's move on now to Austin Wilder Trammell, who asked the question.
Not only does the first pick help keep Herbert healthy for years to come, Zion will help make holes for Austin Eckler, which should make Austin happy, and a happy Eckler makes a happy fantasy fan, let alone Charger fan. With that said, is it unreasonable and too early to say lightning struck twice for the Bolts by picking offensive linemen first for 2 consecutive years? Do we have to wait until the Super Bowl to say that, or can I go ahead and jump the gun?
You don't have to wait for nothing.
Say
what you want.
Speak
Austin.
it.
Claim it. Yeah.
Claim it.
Speak it into happening.
Yeah.
I want. What was it? Last year when Rashawn Slater went up against Washington, and it was like I'm having my brain.
Yeah.
Like
Chase
I
Young.
want Chase Young. I want to see something like that where there's a dominant kind of interior defensive lineman, and he just has his way.
Who did you want us to draft?
What if he handles Jordan Davis?
Oh.
Okay. Do we play? I don't think we played Philadelphia this year, do we?
I think we got him last year.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Maybe the Super Bowl.
But that's what I mean. Like, find a guy like that that's like, oh shit, like there he is. Like we saw it first game. Rashawn Slater shut him down, and he had to switch sides. He was so fucking inefficient.
Yeah,
Give me something like that, and then I'll call it. I feel good calling it now, but I'll really call it then. I'll push all my money in.
Yeah, I think if we, whether it's just going up against somebody like that, or if we start to see Austin Eckler or any running back, honestly, get some deep runs because the holes are being made in that offensive line, I think that's where you can say, we got it. We're good.
Yeah.
So, Austin Wilder Trammell, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to C. Sauer, who asked the question. Overall, solid draft by our TT. What is the overall grade you'd give our draft? Lastly, who's your favorite pick? Is it Zion, Spiller, who's going to grow into a solid running back? Sallier somehow dropped to the 6th. One thing is for sure, no one is touching Herbert.
Who was that? What was his voice request?
He asked for Bill Belichick, so that's my best.
That's pretty good.
Bill Belichick.
You need to yell at some interviewer or just not answer. It'd be better to not answer this question. If you were to be real Belichick, you just don't answer this.
Yeah. Why would I give it a grade?
On to next week. On to next week.
On to next week. Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Yeah. I would say an A as well. I mean, it's hard to know whether or not when you grade these guys before they even hit the field. It's just you're the guy then that actually did the research. We didn't do any research. I don't know if Sanders going to turn out to be a killer pick in the 7th. So I mean,
in the hypothetical world, you could go off what everyone else is saying. What everyone else is saying is that we had a fantastic draft. Just value who fell to us. Some of these guys that we got later on, we can go off their takes, and the general consensus is that it was a very successful draft. So I'll take that B+ they gave it, and I'll make it an A because I'm shamelessly positive, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we reached anywhere. Some guys fell to us. It was the later round pick. Some people weren't happy with, but if you're hitting in those top 4 rounds, then you're in good shape, right?
Good,
so if JT, Isaiah, and Zion all become real NFL football players, that's a good draft.
Mm-hmm.
The other guys, you're taking a shot and you're hoping you can coach them up. So yeah, I think we had an A draft.
Yeah, 100% agree. I don't have any other different. And then favorite pick, I think again, Zion is going to be the favorite pick for all of us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, Cesar. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to CD, who asked the question. Hey, Bobo. Plenty of draft questions will be asked, but not from me. Would you rather have hand sanitizer that kills 100% of germs or toothpaste that 10 out of 10 dentists recommend? And while we're here, what the do you think is up with that last dentist? Like, man, they're trying their best. Hey. All right.
Good one.
So, hand sanitizer that is extremely effective or a good toothpaste?
All the dentists recommend.
Here's my take. Yeah, some dentists I feel like could be swayed. They could be bought. They're kind of weird.
They could be corrupted. Yes.
I don't love dentists. No one. So it's like 10 out of 10 recommendations. There could be some skew in there. If 100% of germs just scientifically are killed, I'll take that.
There you go.
But don't we need some germs? Don't we need some to help fight other things?
Well, now we're getting into another conversation.
This is more of a doctor thing, less dentist. But hypothetically, if you kill all the germs, what happens?
You're in a germ-free world. I don't know. Yeah.
You become the bubble boy.
Yeah, I guess there wouldn't be any more pandemics. So sure, let's do the hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Probably melts your skin though. It's probably something really intense.
Well, I'm sure he didn't write it in here, but it kills 100% of germs safely.
And 100% of the people that take it.
And it takes the skin off your hands. So, I mean, you got that going for you too.
So no more germs.
No more germs,
no more hands.
I'll take the toothpaste. I'll roll the dice with that. But
well, Kevin didn't really answer, so
no, I'll go with the hand sanitizer. Let's do it. Let's rock and roll.
There you go.
Let's do it.
It opens up a Pandora's box. What does it mean when we get rid of all germs? But I'm in.
That's true.
Let's go.
Let's open that box. CD, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Cerberus21. And shout out to Andres Robles and Staley's Nuts and Bolts. You guys pretty much all asked the same question, but I'm going with Cerberus21. And it goes like this. Greetings, Charger Chat. Oh, how I missed you guys. Oh, and I've noticed you all copied my beard. Very nice. I wish the rest of the Chargers fan base a happy start to the month. Now, before we get to the good stuff, can we talk about the woman who announced our 5th round pick? She told the whole world family, trust, and respect, and I spit out my Iconian ale, laughing my head off. She just told the Raiders in Vegas to piss off. Oh, for a legend. I like this one. Now then, we must talk about our newest champions. Yes, the mighty Zion will assist in the protection of the one true ruler of Asgard in Justin Herbert. With this addition, our offense will be the most unstoppable force this league has ever seen. Well, I mean, the right tackle spot is a glaring weakness, but that doesn't really seem to be an issue in Staley's mind. So I think if we all just collectively ignore it, everything will be okay. Right? Yes, there's definitely no way that this could bite us in the ass later down the road in some critical game that will determine whether or not we get in the playoffs. Anyways, moving on. I know the draft wasn't quite as sexy as we wanted it to be, but I do think that we got the right pieces for our depth. Now, my proposed question to the esteemed Charger Chatteteers is if we just completely deny any and all problems at the right tackle position, do you think this team is ready to make a Super Bowl run?
I think this is Storm Norton's redemption year. I think that's what this is set up to be. Storm Norton's year / maybe Trey Pipkins. I think that's what they've decided is a right tackle setup. It just is what it is.
I'm watching Kyle's facial expressions, and I
wish
don't know
you could see mine.
I don't know if he feels the same way. What do you think, Kyle?
I think, could we win a Super Bowl with them in our right tackle? I think we could.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the hole in our roster? Yes, I think it is. Like any roster is going to have a hole. Even if you win the Super Bowl, there's spots going into the season. You're like, man, I don't know how that's going to pan out. But
let's see how it goes.
I mean, there's only so much money to go around.
Right.
You have to pick and choose where you're going to be able to spend your money.
Correct.
And then you have to get lucky in the draft that the guy that you really want falls to you, and that didn't happen for the right tackle spot. So,
right. Yeah.
I think they're confident that we can make do with Storm and Trey at that right side, which scares the daylights out of me. But I guess Storm 3 years ago was in the XFL.
Right.
He's gotten better every year. So
yes.
Hopefully he makes another jump like he did last year, and he's that much better this year. And luckily we have a left tackle that's an all pro.
Right.
So if you need to chip and help, it only has to be to that right side.
Yeah. I think, we got as far as we did last year. Justin Herbert threw for over 5,000 yards last year. Eckler had the most tied for the most touchdowns in the running back position. So
and our defense sucked.
And our defense wasn't where it should have been. Exactly.
It was not very good.
Is it a hole? I don't think it's a hole. Is it a weakness? Yes. I would say that it's not the strongest part of that offensive line, but we did it with Storm Norton last year. And with the way that they aren't talking up Pipkins, I mean, Duke Manyweather saying that Pipkins has improved a ton. So it's like, if the coaches feel like these are the guys and they can do it, then I got to trust them that's it. Like we as fans, we see a very limited amount of, we don't watch every coaching session. We don't watch every practice. And all we get to see is when it comes to game time, whether it's a preseason or a regular season game. So
you would say that we're ready for a Super Bowl run?
Yes.
I feel I feel like we will. I feel like we still could pick up. Sorry. I feel like we could pick up some more free agents, though. I feel like
that's what I was going to say.
Option there.
I am confident we can make a Super Bowl run if the coach is confident that we can make a Super Bowl run. If they feel like, yeah, I think we should still pick up a right tackle, then great. I think then that's the move that you got to make. I mean, Staley did say, or was it Staley or Telesco? Somebody said in one of the post draft interviews was like, yeah, we're still keeping ourselves open to possibly some free agent moves or something like that. So we might still see that. We might still see, I mean, shit, we might even still see a trade that happens before the start of the season. Who knows? So, but if they're confident that we can do it, I'm confident we can do it. So
again, Balaga back on a 1-year deal.
I think at this point, you're probably better off with the injury concern. 1.5. I think you're probably better off with Storm Pipkins at that point. He's just been injured for so long and hasn't played football in like 2 years.
That's why you don't pay him anything.
That would be
and what if you pay him $2 million? He comes back and is healthy the whole year and gives a Pro Bowl performance.
But you're risking it.
You're risking $2 million. Storm Norton's not going to give you a Pro Bowl right tackle.
This hypothetical is nonsense because that's not even
you just
better
don't like
minimum.
it. You just don't like it. You just don't like it.
I don't know. I'm on the fence, but I will say
it wasn't
this.
your idea.
It wasn't. What I will say about this is the lady that went up on stage and said "Family, trust, respect."
That was so
X-Steen 22. She may or may not be on a fan focus here in the future.
Yes,
she better be.
She love it.
I can't wait to ask her that question.
Yes, I am all for it. So, Cerberus 21, there you go. If they're confident, I'm confident. So let's go with it. So
are they confident?
They didn't reach for a tackle.
True.
True. If they felt that the tackle was there, they would have gone for it. But they felt that Zion was the better choice.
This
that's what they went
honestly,
with.
the way they drafted now, and they still have Hymus. Like this feels like a filer to right tackle situation. It really does. Like the
I
amount
think it's
of
a
guards
filer
we
to
have,
right tackle if in like an emergency situation. I think that they're going to roll with Storm and Trey.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the roster. Like I don't want this to happen because he was so dominant at left guard, right next to Rashawn Slater. So I wish they would keep consistency. But just looking how you could shuffle these guys up, he's an upgrade over those two guys. I think he's just a better football player. So if you have one of these guys, like Salyer step up, or if Jaime steps up, you fill in that other right guard position, and then it's a different thing. So I think with how
is Salyer a 6th-round pick, or Jaime, a guy that hasn't played in the NFL, more of a liability than Storm Norton, who's getting better, and we saw played pretty good football most of the year outside of a couple of games?
That's a good question, and we're going to find out pretty quick at camp and stuff.
Yeah.
Like because they're setting themselves up for a competition.
It's going to be a battle.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be a battle,
and it should be, right?
100%.
All right. Cerberus 21, thank you for asking the question, and Andres Robles and Staley's Nuts and Bolts, thank you guys for asking about the right tackle situation. Let's move it on now to Bears 54. Who asked the question? Oh, who asked the question? What's the best scenario for the offensive line? What's worst scenario for the offensive line?
Best is Storm or Trey at this point in time step up and become really good football players next year. That's the best case scenario. That's really is, because then you get everyone else in the positions that they did well in last year. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, worst case scenario I can't do.
We don't do that.
I can't do that. Like,
there's a lot of bad that could happen.
The scenarios that are running through my brain right now, like,
are not healthy.
I don't want to even spit them out into the world.
Yeah.
I mean, the important thing to remember about the guys that we have on the offensive line is how versatile they are in different positions.
A lot of them.
A lot of them are. So if somebody were to go down, and God forbid anybody does, we know that somebody can come in and step in that position who is at that level of playing. So yeah, we don't want to talk about worst case options here, Bears.
No,
54.
there's a lot of bad stuff that could happen. We're not going there, Bears.
We appreciate you coming on and asking the question, and welcome. But you're going to find that this is a shamelessly positive podcast, and we just don't dabble in the dark arts here. So that's down the hall to the left. So Bears 54. Thank you.
Keep it Gryffindor up.
That's right. Yeah, 10 points to Gryffindor.
That's back-to-back episodes with Harry Potter references.
I love it.
Look at us.
It's fine. It works.
It's fine.
Bears 54. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Tyler Foffey, who asked the question. Do you fellas have any Charger tats? Looking for ideas and inspiration for my soon-to-come tattoo.
Well done, Foffy. I'm excited to hear you're going for it.
Absolutely.
Foster.
I can't say that I have one. I will one day, but I don't have one at the moment, so I can't be any help with this question.
Kevin will never have a tattoo on his body. No, he won't.
I literally talked to my wife about this not too long ago, and
no, you won't.
She didn't have to give me the go ahead, but she was like, "All right, you got the go ahead."
We've talked about this for, I want to say, over a decade now, and it will not happen.
It's gonna happen.
It won't happen.
It's gonna happen.
He's calling.
Brian Balaga coming back on a $2 million deal is more likely than you getting a tattoo.
Watch. I'm like getting fired up right now. I'm gonna get one.
Yeah.
What is more likely?
In Romania.
What is more likely, a Charger tattoo or a Charger chat tattoo?
Probably a Charger tattoo. Who knows? We might spiral out of control one day, guys, and this might disappear. You know what I'm saying?
It just takes one drunken night in Vegas.
Yeah, the fighting could come to a head. One too many dick jokes, and one of us is out, and then Charger chat's gone, and then I have a tattoo with our faces on it. Not doing that.
Kevin wakes
Charger
up.
Tattoo.
Balaga comes back, has a Pro Bowl year. We win the Super Bowl. Kevin can't deal with the shame. He quits, and it's just all unraveled.
There you go. That could be the end of that, and then I'd have a weird tattoo.
Kevin wakes up with a bolt like right on the forehead, like down the side.
Like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And a bolt.
Hangover situation.
That's an option. Foffy, if you want to go for it.
It's an option. Yeah. Hey, bolt right here, big guy.
Dude.
Just put it right there around your eye.
Do it.
But somebody here has one.
Yeah, I have a Chargers tattoo. So I have a I have like the crest of it's like the horse with the lightning bolt through it.
Yes.
I have that on my leg.
On the leg.
Yep.
So that way you never skip leg day.
What about you?
Never skip leg day. Got to keep the tattoo looking taut.
That's right. Like a tiger. All right. Well, hey, if anybody else has any Charger tat ideas, put them down in the comments. Let Tyler Foffey know what options are available to him. I mean, you could go, Justin Herbert, just his face
on
somewhere.
A unicorn.
Yeah.
Like that's the move. That's a conversation piece.
Or on
that's
a Traeger
dinner
grill.
Parties.
Maybe riding a Traeger grill.
Right. Just get on top, honey.
Yeah.
A Traeger grill.
Giddy up.
Yeah. Or just Coach Staley. Just Coach Staley.
Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Hey,
sure.
I'd love to hear everybody else's ideas. Put them down in the comments. Thank you, Tyler, for asking the question. Let's move it on to Ray of Powder Blue, who asked the question.
Our O-line is finally looking up, but there are still a lot of question marks. My question is, how easy is it for these guys to shift into different roles? For example, shifting from left guard to right guard or left guard to right tackle. Is that a reasonable expectation, especially for a rookie?
I leave this to the coach. Coach, what do you think?
Yeah, so as a rookie, these guys learning an NFL playbook, they're going to learn one position only.
Mm-hmm.
So if they come in and coach says, hey, you're a right tackle, that may be the case, and that's just what they learned from the right from the jump. But it's not going to be like hey, you're a left guard and a right tackle, learn both positions, and we'll see if you get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not for rookies. For the vet guys, maybe. And that's why Filer to right tackle has been talked about a lot because he's done it. But even these guys that have done it in college have not done it with an NFL playbook, with the amount that they have to learn and do, and then be able to know what they're doing and then execute it against this high level of competition. The rookies are going to come in. They're going to be given one position, and that's going to be it for the year for sure.
We'll find out when they do that initial depth chart who's at right tackle.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's very true. Yeah. We'll wait and see. But great question, Ray of Powder Blue.
Awesome.
Thank you for asking it. Let's move on now to C. Densley 11. Who asked the question?
Staley mentioned they wanted a bunch of DBs with slot coverage versatility. With our beefed up D-line and rounded out secondary, it looks like we're going to roll out of a lot of 5-1-5 sets. My question is, who is the one? Staley seems to like Murray, but all signs point to him being a bust. How we feeling about his opportunity here?
Well, first of all, Mr. Murray is not a bust.
Not yet.
Guy had a great rookie season, not a great season last year, but come to find out that he was injured for probably the better part of it, if not all of it. So
the whole thing he was for sure.
And he's not going to have the beginning of a season this year. So, or at least the essence of the beginning of getting ready for the season. So that's not setting himself up for success at the moment.
Drew Tranquill did just today. We record on Mondays. He had an interview and he talked about the idea of Kenneth Murray coming in as a first round pick, having high expectations, getting hurt, dealing with a lot of stuff. If he can just get healthy here, I think he's expecting Kenneth to have a huge breakout turnaround year this year. So you got to believe that that's the case.
Right.
And the idea of a 5-1-5 defense, all those numbers, I mean, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are linebackers. I mean, in a lot of defenses, they would be considered outside linebackers. So it still would be like a 3-3-5, but that's what you run when you run a nickel 5 DB set. So the point is that I think, and I agree, I think Derwin James is going to be a lot more versatile. You could see him looking like a middle linebacker or a safety, like a strong safety, or up top as a free safety and all over the place because of the depth that we now have at all the positions. So, it's crazy to think about the pieces that we have on defense and we continue to add through the draft and through free agency. It's just, I don't know. Derwin James is just he's like a universal puzzle piece. He'll morph to whatever shape he needs
in
to.
wherever you need him. Yeah.
yeah.
I like that. Let's give Murray at least another year. You know, he's one good, one bad. That doesn't make him a bust. We got to, especially
Need
after
a bigger
finding out about the
sample size.
injury.
He's been hurt all year. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was even hurt in that first year. You know, he had to have surgery at the end of that first year. So let's see him totally healthy and let's see what happens. But C. Densley 11, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to DeMarcus Cut Your Ass Up, who asked the question. Who do you see making the roster from the current RBs we have, draft included?
This is
All right.
wild question, honestly, because I definitely Justin Jackson's not coming back. He's out. So
Yeah,
the
I
question
think he's
is,
done.
the question is if what Roundtree and Kelly are gonna do. Who knows? We're really good at picking free agents, you know, undrafted guys. And there was one guy, Letty Brown, that looked amazing, and people were like, "Wow, we can't believe he didn't get drafted." And they grabbed another running back, Kevin Marks Jr. So they're literally, it feels like besides Austin, this is open, fair play. You know, what 4 backs are going to be on this team and what capacity. So I don't know. I think it's up to, I think Roundtree's going to be there. I think it'll be Isaiah's going to be there. Isaiah Spiller's going to be there. Austin, obviously. And it's that 4th guy. It really is that 4th guy. Is it Kelly or is it going to be one of these undrafted guys?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think, you know, if Austin can do it, just about any, you know, undrafted free agent running back could do it. I don't think it's a good vote for Kelly. I don't think Kelly's going to make it.
Yeah, I think Kelly's not. I don't think Kelly's going to make the squad.
Yeah. I mean, he might be practice squad, but he.
Well, yeah, and he might be. He won't be on the roster, right? Because we carried 4 all last year too. They weren't always not all of them were always active, but I think there will be 4 there. It's just 3 guys are going to suit up.
But now you're going to have a fullback / running back that would take up one of those spots as well. We didn't.
Well, no,
Gabe was not activated very much at all last year.
Careful. That's because Steven Anderson was still on the team, and we had him playing in the fullback spot.
But that's careful.
Son of a bitch.
You just get on fire there, and you're not willing to hear anybody else talk.
I just listened to you. Shut up.
All right. So yeah, I think there's, if anything, it's going to be something to keep an eye on because the competition is obviously going to be fierce. They're taking a big sample size of running backs and seeing what cream of running backs rises to the top. So we'll find out. DeMarcus, cut your ass up, but thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Paul Chaburri. Who asked the question.
Jason Moore season. Let's go.
All right. So he's saying Jason Moore because obviously we didn't pick up any other wide receivers. So is this Jason Moore's time to shine? I don't know.
I don't know how you're going to break through into what we currently have right now. Like,
I know
which seems like a pretty solid starting lineup for wide receivers and backup wide receivers.
Yeah,
I don't know why this year would be the year. I don't know. We signed him as an undrafted free agent in 2019. I don't know why 3 years later, all of a sudden he's going to break out and be the guy. Maybe he needed that time in the NFL to learn and get better. But yeah, I can't confidently say yes.
I don't think he's going to break 1,000 yards this next season.
Is that the question?
Well, no. I'm just saying, the litmus test of like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both getting 1,000 yards last season, and all of a sudden Jason Moore comes in, going like, everybody get out of my way.
Well, and there are some other wide receivers on this roster, like Joe Reed. Like he got hurt, you know. Like there are some more guys that we forget about because we haven't seen them in a while that could make an impact still.
Absolutely.
So, like, bringing in somebody like Jason Moore's on the kind of the bottom of that list for me, but who knows? Maybe he had a great offseason.
Even bringing in a tight end like Gerald Everett, like that's another big time wide receiver.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to catch a lot of balls.
Yeah.
That 5,000. I feel like the 5,000 yards from Herbert's going to be pretty safe.
Oh yeah,
bet the over.
I'll bet the over
that'll
on the
be
5,000.
Spread pretty fairly, I think. So
yeah.
Paul Jaburi. Hey, if Jason Moore has a breakout season,
we'll remember this.
Let's go. Yeah, we'll come back to this.
And
but,
shit, certified fresh. I blew it. I blew it again.
There you go.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, you're in Romania. That shit happens. Paul Jaburi, thank you for asking. Let's move on now to Ryan 619916.
Certified fresh.
Who asked the question? Who stands out from the undrafted free agents we signed? Who starts at linebacker this year?
So this guy's just a weird do-it-all kind of guy, which with our offensive coordinator Lombardi and what he had in New Orleans with why can't I remember his name now?
Who is this? Oh, Taysom Hill?
No. Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
This Stone Smart out of Old Dominion is an interesting move because he was not like a big name or anything like that, but he was a quarterback in junior college and then he played wide receiver and now he's moving to tight end. He's 6'4", 226. He ran a 4.6 40. He just seems like the guy that could do a lot of weird things that maybe he becomes our Taysom Hill type. Wildcat. I don't know.
You're in the NFL now. Linebacker.
It's an intriguing player. When it comes to undrafted free agents, I don't know a whole lot about him. So, that's the guy I think. And then I graduated from Liberty University, so safety Skylar Thomas. I'm excited to see if he can make squad.
Nice.
I think Reeder was technically undrafted when he was signed on with the Rams. So I think that's my cheat pick. I think he's going to plug and play and start while Kenneth is down. So that would be my work around the question answer.
Nice.
That's Kevin, always looking for an angle. I'll say that I think the quarterback Brandon Peters out of Illinois lets us know that Justin's obviously on the hot seat, so he better watch his back. If Brandon shows out at camp, we might see a different starter at the
your boy Easton Stick could be in some trouble.
Oh yeah, Easton Stick is definitely in trouble for sure. So, well, those are the standouts. And then who starts at linebacker this year?
I think it's Kenneth Murray and Drew Tranquil. I think Kenneth will be healthy by the time season starts.
I think Reeder and Tranquil to start. So I don't think they're going to rush Kenneth back until he's ready. I think that's going to be a few weeks into the season.
I think Kenneth Murray will be ready. So
based on our medical expertise,
we've got medicine.
We've got doctorates,
and
don't ask us
looked at the X-rays.
Yeah, don't look at them.
I'm a doctor in bones. I'm a bone doctor.
Yeah,
I understand bone.
You're a boner doctor.
Big bones, little bones, all kinds of bones.
All right. Well, there you go, Ryan 619916. Thank you for asking the question. Moving on now to Ghost, who asked the question.
I know all questions will be all draft, some even double. Hoo-ha! So I'll go off script. A few weeks ago, Kevin and Kyle both said they would take Junior over Gates on this team, but Brandon Staley doesn't value linebackers, and given the fact that Junior was known for going rogue, don't you think that Gates would help this team more by being another weapon for J-Herb instead and fit the scheme better? Hoo-ha!
And we're back. Hey, welcome back, Mr. Duggan. We get to see your pretty face. All right. So, Ghost asked the question. You guys said Junior over Gates.
I don't care about fit. I don't care about scheme. I want Junior Seau on the field. That's just the bottom line.
Sure.
100%.
Sorry.
Yeah. Can't argue.
Sorry, not
the
sorry.
right answer. You have the right answer.
Can't argue. It's the right answer. Put Junior Seau on the field.
Yeah.
I love Gates, but Junior Seau is Junior Seau. He's a myth. He's a legend. He's the man.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's Junior.
It's not about who's going to get more catches or make Justin look better. Justin's going to make anybody look better. The tenacity that Junior Seau brought to the team is incomparable. So
yeah,
I see where you're going, Ghost, and we appreciate the thought process.
Ghost, you make a lot of good points.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Junior Seau in the debate, you would probably be right.
I'd probably agree.
But I have to keep if Junior Seau is an option to be on the football field. For me as a fan, I want him on the football field so I can watch him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, hey, you do you, Ghost, but we thank you for asking the question.
Hey, you do you, Ghost.
That's right.
Ooh, I'm back.
And let's now go out of Ask Boltfam with Danny Lags.
Danny.
Go ask the question.
Just like me, all night long, lagging.
Danny Lags.
Lagging.
Lags.
Hey, oh, young bucks. Herbo has his own Secret Service now. The OL 100U. Ooh, you guys have any nicknames for the Mac and Bosa duo? I want them to play the Jurassic Park theme song at SoFi after every sack because of the 2 T-Rexes in Lost World. Also, is cereal a soup?
What?
All right.
Okay.
That
would be a weirdest flex.
That would be a weird, I'm sure everybody in the audience would be too busy cheering that such graceful music after every sack. I don't know if it would fly, but I like where your head's at. I think you're thinking. The bigger question, though, is cereal a soup?
No.
Why would it be a soup? Because there's liquid?
Well, let's
if
take
you
a look
warm
at
up
it.
your cereal, technically.
Well, there's cold soups.
But there's cold soup.
You've got gazpacho. It's a
I
cold
guess it
soup.
is a soup.
Very, very cultured.
Guess I'm gonna
right
have
there
soup
with that
for
answer,
breakfast.
Bulldog. Is it a soup?
But is
I don't
it,
know.
though? I don't know.
Maybe it depends on how much milk you put in.
Right. Well, there are creamy soups. Yeah.
Maybe it's like a.
If you let the cereal sit long enough to where the cereal gets kind of mushy, I would consider that more of a soup. I've never had like a crunchy soup before, you know? And
I've
if
had
you
tortilla
just
soup.
pour and go,
You throw some tortilla chips in there, you got yourself
man,
a nice soup.
it's soup. It's soup.
It's
It's
final
soup.
answer. It's soup. It's soup. We figured it out. We cracked the case, guys.
Cereal soup.
Show me soup. Ding, ding, ding.
Nicknames for the duo, though. We skipped over that.
So is it Chloe or
Chloe?
Jaleel?
Something like
too good.
Or
watch
is
your
it-
back.
Is it Bach
Bosa
or
and Mac.
Masso?
Bosa and Mac, cut your ass.
Cut your ass.
Cut your ass up.
Final answer.
There you go.
Their nickname is Cut Your Ass Up.
Cut your
Cut
ass
your-
up. I love it.
Bosa and Mac. Cut your ass up. Done.
All right. Well, hey, if you've got a better nickname for the Bosa Mac duo, put it down in the comments. I want to see it. We need to come up with something good because they're gonna be a menace out there on the field. But all right.
Ash
well, thank you,
Brothers?
Danny. What's with Match
Ash
Brothers?
is kind of an obvious go-to.
Thanks.
I don't like
It's
it.
a
I
good
like
time
Cut
to
Your
end.
Ass Up better. So
Thanks.
yeah. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you back.
All right, gang. Well, Danny Likes, thank you for asking the question, and thank you everybody for asking the question and Ask Bold Fam. I feel like they're going to start getting longer here as we delve closer to the season. But I think that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
No, I'm glad we're out of draft.
I'm glad
Now
we're
we
out
can
of
start
draft
looking at our team.
season. Yeah.
And some free
There you
agents.
go.
Let's see. There's still some guys out there, some
Yeah,
veterans
there's some
that want
guys
to
out
get
there.
signed, and I want to sign some.
Tyrann Matthew just signed with the Saints today.
Right?
So
Yeah, we
No.
can
We're gonna
stop
start
talking
going.
about that. Yeah.
Guys,
So, but there's still other names out there, and we'll see what other moves go on. But that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
I love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you, bye. And now, a word from our sponsors. Tonight on Fox, catch an all-new episode of Ortho P. Dick. Doctor, we're losing him! What are his bone vitals? His bone work shows a drop in his boniotomy, and his bonometer is falling.
Code blue, room 305.
We're gonna lose him, Doc! Please, call me Ortho. Hoo-ha! Ortho P. Dick. Tonight, only on Fox.